Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 30th meeting of the pre-council meeting for the City of Joliet. Mayor Terry Darcy presiding.
Okay, we'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clements.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hugg.
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Okay. Seeing none. Next, we will have the city manager review tomorrow night's actionable items.
Okay, we don't have any appointments. We'll hear from the Land Use and Economic Development Committee, the Legislative Committee, the Public Safety Committee, and the Public Service Committee. Moving on to consent agenda, we'll have approval of the minutes, invoices to be paid. Start with Council Memo 45924, award of professional engineering services contract for construction Phase 3, engineering services for the Theodore Street, Droughton Road to Westmere Parkway roadway widening improvement project in the amount of $352,814. Council Memo 46024, the 2024 electrical materials purchase order number 1 from Helsel and Jefferson Electrical Company in the amount of $55,437.50. Council Memo 46124, change order number 1 for the 2023 underground storage tank removal and replacement project to Petroleum Technologies Equipment, Inc. in the amount of $385,466.65. Council Memo 46224, approve the expansion for the web-based fire inspection program and payment to Locality Media, Inc., aka First Due, in the amount of $71,337.50. We do have the Deputy Fire Chief here if anyone has any questions on this item tonight. We'll also have him here tomorrow. Okay. Moving on to license and permit applications. Council Memo 46424, transfer of Class C liquor license at 1005 Essington Road, Liquor Town, Council District 2, Councilman Mudrin. So this is a change of ownership of a liquor store, and we have our liquor commissioner here with us this evening.
Mayor, City Council, item number 464-24 is a resolution to approve the transfer of a Class C liquor license. Class C is packaged goods only at 1005 Essington Road. The new applicant is Sanet Shah and Mahi Patel, DBA Liquor Town. The building department has no issues. Police department has no issues. No money is owed to the city. And based on the liquor hearing and the information, the liquor commissioner is recommending approval of the transfer. Any questions?
One question I have. Right now, I think your door hours are listed till 11 o'clock in the evening, a couple nights a week. I know the Class C allows up to midnight, is it? At the most?
Yep. Yes, it does. Talking to the new owners right here, they're planning on closing 10 p.m. during the week and then 11 o'clock on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Council Memo 46624, ordinance amending the 2024 annual budget for the City of Joliet and purchase an upfit of 1 new electrical tram from Moto Electric in an amount not to exceed $95,000.
Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
Yes.
How will that work, that whole thing? Are we, do we have a plan yet, or just getting this thing and then we'll work out a plan?
Yeah, so we received a grant from the federal government. It's called the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant from the Department of Energy, in the amount of $187,500. So part of this grant will pay for the tram, which we plan to use for special events like IHSA, baseball, city historical tours. We used to do limestone tours that we'd like to bring back. Jane Bernhard does a lot of architectural tours, like through walking, but we could now use this tram to do those as well. We're also partnered with Heritage Corridor, City Center Partnership, and the prison for any needs that they might have with them. I believe you all should have some support letters from them at the dais. And so that's the idea. We haven't fleshed them all out 100%, but we have been meeting with these other agencies. So really, it's an opportunity. You know, the city's had a trolley before, then we had like a bus before, but we don't have anything right now to help. This can also help with downtown if we need to be moving people from the Ottawa deck to other businesses downtown, et cetera. So we've talked to downtown businesses about it as well, who are in support. And so that will be $95,000 out of this federal grant, and then the remainder we plan to purchase an electric street sweeper that can make it into the deck to clean the deck out and clean like some of the downtown areas and the smaller spaces that some of our larger street sweepers can't make it into.
So this is all electric then?
It's all electric.
Okay. So the other thing is the charging station would be where it's gonna be parked all the time for a full charge, because if you're going downtown, then we do have charging stations in the parking deck, but would that bus be able to fit in that parking deck to recharge if needed?
Greg, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I don't think it will fit in the parking deck. We'll have, part of the cost of the $95,000 is to install a charging station for the vehicle.
Oh, all right, close to downtown then? Or
Yes,
close to
yeah.
parking deck?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering how that.
Yeah, we don't have
It was
a,
gonna fit.
we
Yeah.
don't have a specific location yet, but
Okay.
it will be close to the downtown, so you're not driving it, 10 miles to a charging station or
All right.
something. Yeah.
Well, those are my questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beth, who's going to drive this tram?
Krista, do you want to answer that?
Oh, Chris is gonna drive.
Yeah. We don't have all the details worked out yet, but you do not need a special license for this tram. In the past, the shuttle, it did require a special license. We are partnering with the other agencies, and we're working with risk management in regards to having various drivers.
I mean, are these going to be union positions, or I mean, what are we looking to do here?
So we haven't finalized the details. If it is the museum that is operating it, obviously that would be a separate discussion. But again, we were just bringing this forward and continuing meetings as we progress and finalize the details.
Thank you.
It's a work in process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say one thing, Mayor?
Yeah.
The downtown businesses, I was down there for Vintage Fest, and I saw many of the business owners that are very excited about this.
Yeah.
Very, very excited about this.
They're excited.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor,
Yeah.
the argument I'm hearing out there is we can walk across downtown 2 minutes one way, 4 minutes the other way. I'm just trying to, I'm all in favor of the downtown businesses. $95,000 is a lot of money,
This is coming from a federal grant.
which is great. That's the people's money. My thing is, what's going to happen when the grant's over? Who is going to pick up the bill? I'm all in favor of the downtown and whatever we can do to help them downtown and shuttle people around. It's just these are some of the things I'm hearing out there. I don't think the general public is in favor of this expenditure. I know it's a grant money, but I'm down the road. Who's going to pay for that? Somebody's going to have to drive it. Somebody's going to have to insure it, all this stuff.
These are all really important questions that you're bringing up that
Yeah.
we can get back to at a later date. And I would love to talk to you offline about the feedback that you're getting from the community.
Sure.
I haven't heard that thus far, so I would love to hear more about that.
I guess we can go on social media, which you take it for a grain of salt, right? Last I saw, there's like 20 comments about the pay raise to the city council, right? And then there's like 300 plus on this tram thing, and they all seem to be negative, and I take that with a grain of salt, believe me. But it's like the people out here I've had calls and emails, and they're they're not really in favor of this. But, again, I will say it 100 times. I'm in favor of the downtown, anything we do to help them. And, you know, it's just my 2 cents today. I mean.
Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
important feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
I look forward to hearing more about that.
Mayor, I have
Sure.
another comment that marked on that. So this is a grant, so when the grant runs out, if this actually doesn't work, we don't have to keep it, correct?
Well, we're purchasing it with the grant
We're gonna
funds.
buy it, we're not gonna.
Yes.
rent it out.
Yeah.
Oh, because I've been getting those same calls.
Okay, good. Well, then I need to hear from, we'll need to hear more from both of you then.
Because I was thinking it would be temporary, and then once the grant was gone, we could reevaluate.
Mhm.
Sell to somebody else.
Yeah, well, like over the years, we've
I
had
know.
similar vehicles and,
Well, we've been asking for you guys to help the downtown businesses, so like, this is a start for right now, so.
yeah.
We have to think of everybody. I know that the residents are upset about it, and just based on what Clement said, I didn't want to add all that, but I wanted to get like a plan what we were going to do with it, and you explained that. So.
Yeah, and we'll be back, you know, for more, to advise on more, and probably have to come back to accept the grant itself, so.
Beth, when is this due? Like, what's the deadline?
Well, I think we have like is it 13-week lead time or something? So
14 weeks.
14
yeah.
weeks, So,
So we could vet this, that doesn't have to be done tomorrow? I mean.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
I have one question.
Sure, go ahead.
This, just because I'm curious, and we all were kind of talking about what it would be like, do you have a model number? I'm looking on Moto's website, just to see what they offer.
I have a photo I can provide. I
Oh.
can send it to all the council members
Okay.
if you want. It's a,
Do you know what, 27 passenger, or what is
it's
it?
15
15.
15,
passenger.
okay.
Yeah,
15
give me a
passenger.
few moments, I can send that out to you
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we can have something for tomorrow night too. We can show it up on the screen for the public, if that would be helpful as well.
I think so.
Okay, all right,
Right.
let's prepare that for tomorrow.
My comment is, it's a use it or lose it grant, and I'm as excited about getting a electric sweeper that's gonna help us in the decks and the sidewalk. We've always wanted to clean up our sidewalks downtown, and we haven't had equipment to do it. So between the two, I think it's a really worthy grant to take. And if we don't take it, some other town will take it. So I guess it's use it or lose it, and I don't agree that we should walk away from it, even though we're all federal taxpayers, but they hand money out to everybody. If they're gonna hand it out to us, I don't have a problem with it. Sure. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and many months ago, I think myself and others up here agreed, about a street sweeper downtown, I think that's great. I just think we need more information on this trend, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment also that I think I'm excited for it as well, just because I feel like, I think I've read some of the same comments in regards to where you could walk 2-3 minutes, but I think we got the travelers that come here, they go from the museum, they go to the prison, and what I'm most excited is hopefully we could maybe make like a route to where you even stop at a couple restaurants on Collins and, you know, kind of make stops to where just going back and forth.
Yeah,
So
that's the
people that are
idea.
traveling here can, you know, be downtown, be on Collins, restaurants, the prison, back and forth, and eventually maybe have a couple buses, you know, moving people around, like, you know, having a thriving downtown in tourism. So that's our goal right now. We're trying to build for 2026. And I think that's all part of the, if you ask me today, yeah, with the construction and everything, it probably doesn't make sense, but I think we're planning for the future. So
We
that's
are.
what I'm excited about.
Can I say one more thing, Mayor?
Yeah, one more.
Okay. You know I'm Italian, so that's, I'll make it short. Just to expand on what Councilman Cardenas said, we know where we're going, so we know where 2 or 3 blocks over. Visitors to this town don't necessarily know where they're going, so I think this would be very helpful. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Mayor. Go ahead.
No problem.
All right. I would just say, you know, I was excited about the possibilities of this. But I also saw some of the feedback, as Councilman Clement mentioned. So I think there's a lot of questions to be answered for the public, and I think here on the council we need a more complete picture also. But I want to remind everyone here that some time ago on this council we voted on an issue regarding traffic congestion and lack of parking for residents over across on Ruby Street and just off of the area. Those sorts of things are only going to become more and more common as the city grows, as we reach higher densities of populations. And so any step that we can take now towards becoming more independent of, vehicle-based infrastructure is a step in the right direction. Because if we continue to build a city that requires having a vehicle to get from one place to the other, we're going to have more issues with traffic. And so anytime that we can propose an alternative to make it so our cities become more walkable, more easily cross, from one neighborhood to another, I think that's the sort of groundwork that we need to start laying down now. But I will agree that there are still, I think, a lot of questions about this project specifically that I'd feel more comfortable supporting it if we had that more complete picture.
Sure. I hear you.
Larry,
Okay.
save the best.
There you go. Greg, obviously it doesn't have to be, the grant itself doesn't have to be a tram. It could be street sweepers, I'm sure there's other vehicles. Is the requirement that it be an electric vehicle?
Kevin might be able to better answer that.
Yeah, the grant requires an electric vehicle.
So it doesn't matter what vehicle, it's gotta be electric?
It's got to be electric.
Okay, thank you.
It can't be a Hyundai.
That's really good feedback. Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to Council Memo 46724, ordinance establishing the compensation of the mayor and city council and amending section 2-327 of the Code of Ordinances. Resolutions, Council Memo 469. Oh, excuse me.
I wanna make a
Yeah,
comment.
sure.
I'm not on Facebook, so I'm not sure what's going on with this one, but I did get calls and correspondence. And this was brought to my attention the day before legislative, and I said I didn't think it was a good idea. And then I heard from Kevin, it's very time sensitive, is that right, Kevin?
Yeah.
That it had to be done by tomorrow, right?
I think it's 180 days. 180 days. Todd?
That's correct.
Right. So we couldn't have waited another day or another meeting because then it would have overlapped and then the next group of at-large would have to wait 6 years and 4 years for the people. Anyway, I want to go on, and Bob, by the way, could you get a new picture of my profile for your paper? I don't really, that was 23, my hair was a little different. But I didn't think this was a good idea. And Jan, your comment was, there's no good time to do this. So I'm not sure how it got championed, but I actually asked if I could just have mine stay the same because I didn't take this position for a paycheck. I took this position because I want to serve the public. And I don't want anybody to misconstrue my words. I think we all work hard up here, but this was not my idea, and I heard about it last second, and then it came to the legislative committee. So I just want to make sure Bob Ocon and John Farrick hear that plain and simple from me. Thank you. Any other comments?
I think I just wanted to make a comment that from what I read was that this is something that's going to take effect for the next cycle of elected officials, not
That's
us.
correct.
We're not giving ourselves
No.
necessarily a raise.
Right.
This is for the next one, so just to make
Whoever
that clear.
gets elected in this next at-large would,
April 20.
2005.
Yeah.
so that they would
25,
get,
excuse me.
they would get it then when
And then
they
the
get
next
sworn in for the next group.
Yeah.
So it would be within 6 months of the next group, right?
6 months, yeah.
Okay, just want to be clear.
If I may, looking back, the last time a council had a raise was in 2001, and none of us were around then. And then they raised it, and it was staggered between the at-large and then the district council people. And then they raised it to 20,000, and then right after that, it lasted till about, I want to think, 2007 and then 2009 for the staggering. And we were in a crisis with the budget, and everything was, the whole world was going down. It was a big financial crisis. So we were asking our staff to take cuts in pay, and the council decided that we would also take a cut in pay. And so it had to go into effect at the next election because we all wanted to do it, but we could not because even though we were in compliance to take a lesser amount, you still have to wait till the next election to do so. So, and then it all came to the end in 2011, and everybody was even at 19,000. And just as a side note, I wasn't able to do it, but I kept writing a check for $1,000 back to the city, just to show solidarity with the employees that were so kind to, they didn't argue with us, and they didn't contest, so that's how that works. And then, this had been talked about for years, Mayor, and it was never a good time, never a good time. And when you look at the whole thing, if we want to discuss it further when it comes up, we have statistics, and Mr. Singh can explain the whole thing to you. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. I just want to get my comments out.
Oh, and I agree, and I reiterated that several times at the legislative, to nauseam. Like, I think,
Wow.
is she old to keep repeating herself? Because I kept saying, it does not apply to this council sitting here now. It's newly elected officials starting in April 1st, which is the election, and when the oath of office is taken, I believe it's in May of 2025. And if you're worried about the cost, it's only going to apply to the first, or the 3 at large, because that's who's up this time in April. And that'll be a cost of $12,000 if you look at the price for 3 people. And then after those 2 years, when the districts come up in 27, there's whoever gets reelected then, they would be eligible for that when they take office in May of 27. So it's staggered, but again, we are not giving ourselves a raise. We're just looking out for the future of this council so they don't have to go through this again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question? So Kevin, I assume then tomorrow you would have some statistics based on the 2011 19,000, what that amount is worth today?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. That's it for me.
Okay, assuming no further comments or questions, moving on to resolutions. Council Memo 46924, resolution authorizing a design agreement between the Department of the Army and the City of Joliet for the design for the Joliet Levee Flood Risk Management Project. Council Memo 47024, resolution to approve subrecipient agreements for program year 2024 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funding. Council Memo 47124, resolution to adopt the annual action plan for Community Development Block Grant Funds Program Year 2024. Council Memo 47224, resolution appropriating motor tax funds for the construction of the Theodore Street, Rowden Road, and Westmere Parkway roadway widening improvements project. Council Memo 47324, resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the Phase 3 engineering services for the Theodore Street, Rowden Road, Westmere Parkway roadway widening improvements project. Council Memo 47424, resolution approving an agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for construction and Phase 3 construction engineering services for the Theodore Street, Rowden Road, Westmere Parkway roadway widening improvements project. That concludes the agenda.
Beth, or Mayor. That 474, this is probably for Greg. When will that be completed? That 47424? Or projected date?
Oh, yeah, okay, so there's 2 projects. There's a project currently under construction, which is Project 1A. It's anticipated that'll be completed next year. And then 1B, which is this project we're discussing, is the next phase. We had to split it up because of the funding sources. It's anticipated we'll start that in the spring if we hit the November letting and IDOT, and then it would be completed by the end of next year. So that's the intent, is to get them both done next year.
Thank you.
Okay, next is public comments. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? Anyone for public comment? Okay, seeing none. I did receive a request for closed session. is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clements?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Schulman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried.